Hi, my name is Taylor Wilson, and I'm going to be talking about the Wichita experiment. The Wichita Eagle is a newspaper in Wichita, Kansas, and it's the biggest paper in the state. It developed community connectedness and public journalism. The Eagle was founded by Marshall Murdoch in 1872. The paper is now owned by the McClatchy Company, who bought it in 2006. They also publish 31 other newspapers, including the Kansas City Star. The Eagle-Beacon merge. The Beacon was the Eagle's competitor for 88 years, but in 1960, the Eagle bought the Beacon. Both continued, but the Eagle was published in the morning and the Beacon in the evening. In 1973, Ritter Publications bought the newspapers, and Ritter and Knight newspapers merged in 1974 to form Knight Ritter. This merger combined the newspapers into the Wichita Eagle-Beacon in 1980, but throughout the years the Beacon was dropped, which is why today it is just known as the Wichita Eagle. Dave Merritt Jr., also known as Buzz, built the paper's reputation as editor from 1975 to 1998. He was one of the earliest and most verbal supporters of public journalism. Some consider him as one of the founding fathers. He encouraged his journalists to view events from the citizen's perspective. Merritt is an author of 3 books on journalism and is known for the Voter Project and the People Project. In 1990 primary election, Democrat Joan Finney, former state treasurer, won the office. She became the 42nd governor of Kansas from 1991 to 1995. The Eagle perceived Finney to not have a chance at winning because it would mean defeating incumbent Republican Mike Hayden. When she won, she became the first woman to defeat an incumbent governor in general election in the United States. After this, Merritt decided to change the newspaper's approach to campaign coverage. He knew that they needed to listen more to the people than what they thought was right. Finney's campaign is one of the main events that led the change to public journalism. Since the election was so vague on the public's opinion, this is where Merritt decided he needed to focus. The approach was to force the candidates to reveal their platforms and air the issues so that the voting public's wants and what they saw fit for their community wouldn't be shocking. How did they get this done? The reporters pressed for answers from the public and candidates aggressively. When the nominees dodged questions, especially over the 10 issues that the newspaper targeted as special interest, the reporters are not to relent. This practice is still around today, most specifically at press conferences. The Eagle wanted the citizens to vote, and the paper made it possible when they set up a register for voting at the newspaper office. It was known that the citizens who feel a connection to the place they live care about what is going on and more likely to read the news. So the paper created a new style of election coverage, and it targeted at strengthening the connectedness of community and tackling declining voter turnout rates. This occurs the year after Finney's election, or the Operation Rescue occurs after the year after Finney's election and the reform of reporting campaigns. Wichita residents went by storm on an abortion issue during the summer. Over 18,000 people were arrested in a month and a half, which included abortion protesters and counter-protesters. It was called the Summer of Mercy, and it reminded journalists that in order to achieve community connectedness, they have to have sufficient knowledge of their community and the issues important to them. The paper began the People Project after the Summer of Mercy. The Eagle printed extensive series of in-depth articles over issues that were already well known as important topics to the readers. The difference this time was the articles were to entice the readers to give feedback. This started the paper renting a hall 3 times during the series and allowed the residents and readers an option to voice their views and discuss issues. It connected the community with the help of TV and radio stations, and it attempted to create a public sphere. The paper distributed a simplified election guide to more than 100,000 non-subscribers and adult literacy classes. The local ABC affiliate, NKAKE-TV, helped to bring people into the office of the paper to register and vote. The Eagle had to distinguish the difference of what the readers wanted to read about and what they needed to read about. This was their main ethical dilemma. The Eagle's staff took two values and made them work together by overlapping them. The first value was referred to as a spinach journalism. They saw it as the paper's role to tell what they need to know to be well-informed readers. However, the second value, the newspaper must tell readers what they want to know, or their time and money will be spent elsewhere, which makes the newspaper perish. Aristotle's golden mean takes effect at the paper. One extreme is the paper is greedy and will give the readers nonsense information to make a profit. This is like most newspapers today, such as Star, People, etc. But the other extreme is they believe they know what's best for readers, which is when they give them serious, responsible news. The Eagle tries to balance the two extremes by deciding with the readers what the content of the paper should be. The Eagle has two commitments to the readers in the democratic system. First, to give the readers sufficient information to make an educated decision when voting. And second, The newspaper's duty is to subscribers and investors, which is for those who make it possible for the paper to continue. Editors at the Eagle continue their efforts at improving community connectedness by giving the readers what they want, and they allow the paper to give information on unpopular issues. The Eagle's executive editor, Sherry Hill, involved reporters in a study of area citizens who should be readers but weren't. These residents have strong ties to the community but don't read because they only look for the good news in the community. So the paper strongly involved readers in debates about the community, which benefited both the paper and the residents because it brought in those people who don't usually read the paper. Everything is what led to public journalism. This new kind of journalism was a shift away from the conventional reporting by moving beyond the limited mission of helping life to go well, said Buzz Merritt. It brought a sense of mind that meant viewing the people as potential activists, helping to arrive at making a democratic solution, instead of just seeing them as consumers. The Potter Box is a model for making ethical decisions developed by Ralph B. Potter and includes facts, issues, values, loyalties, and principles. The Eagle's facts and issues were insufficient reporting due to inadequate knowledge about residents. Their values are balancing and giving the readers what they want to read versus what they need to read. The paper's loyalty is to their community, their subscribers, investors, and to themselves. Their principle is the Eagle will remain reliable and impartial while continuing to create community connectedness. Thank you.